Hello, friends. The 796th day of the war between Russia and Ukraine continues. Russian telegram channels yesterday wrote about the capture of Kislivka in the Kupiansk section of the Kharkiv direction. They published videos of the flag in the village. The Ukrainian military telegram channel Deep State refutes this statement and reports that the enemy continues to press but has not captured the village. According to him, despite the statements of the Russians, there were no significant changes in the tactical situation on April 28. We would like to note the volunteers from the 17th and 34th Battalions of the 57th Brigade who quickly came to the rescue and who really showed themselves like real lions, repelling attacks, even with the wounded. Aero reconnaissance is also working well, but the enemy does not allow you to relax, writes Deep State. The telegram channel of the 46th Brigade writes that all enemy activity near Kislivka and in the near future, probably near Tabaivka, does not have a tactical nature for occupying some height or even a village. These actions are clearly synchronized with what is happening much further south in the Avdiivka direction, where the Russians went on the offensive, taking advantage of the failure of the defense at Yevhenii. And this signal sounds something like this: if you transfer reserves from here to the south, we will take away from you those areas where you will expose your defense areas. Almost the same thing happened in the summer of 2023 when we attacked in the Tokmak direction during a counteroffensive, while at the same time taking our land near Fishchivka, simulating an attack at Bakhmut. Simple, primitive, and effective. Tactics textbooks are written in different languages, but the types of actions and maneuvers do not change because of this, writes the telegram channel of the 46th Brigade. Yesterday, Commander-in-Chief Siski confirmed the retreat from Berdichi and Semenivka. Let me remind you that the battles for Berdichi actually lasted from February. After the Russians captured Semenivka, as well as Novobakhmutivka and Solovyovi, the defense of Berdichi became sharply more difficult. The Ukrainian garrison there found itself semi-surrounded, and a retreat from there was a matter of time. Today, according to data from the Ukrainian side, Russian troops advanced northwest of Yevhenii in an area up to 1.2 kilometers wide and to a depth of 1.71 kilometers, where they occupied height 245. In Nikailovi, active military operations are taking place along Beskuravojnogo. The push towards Novoalexandrivka indicates that in the near future, the Russians will be focused on expanding the breakthrough and creating conditions for entering the operational space in the direction of the Konstantinivka to Pokrovsk highway. To do this, the Russians will first implement access to the Sokol and Novopokrovsky line. The development of events in this scenario will aggravate the position of the units on the Berdichi, Semenivka, Umensky line. And in the event of successful action in the direction of Umansky, it will create conditions for operational encirclement and ousting our troops from this area. Secondly, the enemy reached the Arkhangelsk-Akharamik line. The development of events in this scenario opens up opportunities in the future for the Russians to implement the Toretsk option, the encirclement of the city of Toretsk. But this path is significantly complicated by the presence on the northern face of the coverage of Chasiv Yar and Konstantinivka, the capture of which is not even visible. Both options also allow you to protect your units that have become separated from the main forces from attacks on the flank. At the same time, the issue of taking the Konstantinivka, Pokrovsk logistics arm under fire control with artillery forces is being resolved. According to the telegram channel of the 46th Brigade in the Avdiivka direction, the armed forces of Ukraine had a fortification line in the rear in the form of the bed of the Volga River. In the event of a negative development of events as now, the units would retreat to the lines Solovyovi and Novoslivka Persha, Imezhovi, Eskuchny, and hold the defense there. No one knows how long the Russians would try to overcome it, having problems crossing water barriers, but for a long time. In addition, we would have had a significant reserve of time to prepare fortification lines, but the uncontrolled withdrawal of a number of units and the breakthrough of the 30th Brigade of Russians to the Yevhenii line now makes this maneuver meaningless, given that the situation is developing according to a negative scenario. The Russians are hanging over us from the north, and leaving the Berdichi-Semenivka-Umansky line is already a matter of time. In such conditions, the armed forces of Ukraine, in order not to be under the threat of encirclement, will be forced to retreat approximately to the west of this line to the Novoalexandrivka, Proers, Seladuvi. Most of the defense area in the Avdiivka direction from Solovyovi to Karlivka is limited by obstacles in the form of the Vovcha River and the Karlivka Reservoir. This factor may complicate the withdrawal of units from the Berdichi, Semenivka, Umansky, Netalovi line. Already now the defense area from above is locked by the Russians in Solovyovi. Moreover, for the evacuation of this entire area, there are only 4 bridges suitable for evacuating equipment and personnel. 3 of them are located in Novoslivka Persha, which, after the loss of Yevhenii, is within reach of even enemy company artillery, not to mention more artillery. In addition, if the Russians enter Karlivka, the Ukrainian armed forces will lose a single evacuation route north of Karlivka, and here the units of the Yasnobrodivka-Umansky line will also be forced to retreat to the Novoslivka Persha area. The enemy also understands this, so he has increased his efforts in the Karlivka Directorate and is expanding his breakthrough towards Sokol and Novopokrivsky, reports the Telegram channel of the 46th Brigade. To the south in the Vuhledar area, Siersky confirmed the abandonment of Novomikhailivka. Today, according to data from the Ukrainian side, the enemy captured the Mashino-Stroidal gardening partnership and advanced north of Novomikhailivka in an area up to 3.58 kilometers wide and to a depth of 950 meters. Also yesterday, Siersky reported that, in the Kherson direction, our units managed to establish control over the island of Nestriga. Friends, this channel exists solely thanks to your support. If you have the opportunity and desire to support the channel, I will be very grateful to you. Thank you very much and see you in the next video.